Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Red Lotus Life. I wanted to come on here and share just a little piece about some things that I've been contemplating. If you're new to Red Lotus Life, this is where we provide resources and tools to create a life that you love. And I'm really, really feeling it today. I'm feeling it because in Group Spiral, we are all about um, openness and we're in the heart. It's level 4 right now. And so I'm in all the juiciness of everything. And I've been really contemplating um, the themes and the emotions and the statement and everything that we work with in level 4 of the spiral. So I thought I'd come on here and I just share a little bit about what's happening there and what this is all about because this work is so profound. I've never experienced anything like it before. And every single time I go through the spiral myself, or I'm doing the work in Say Yes to Soul with everyone else, or the work in Lunar Journeys, I do that as well with everyone else. And it's so profound. And when we finally integrate and we land the emotional clearing session, there is this sense of self that is so grounded and so anchored and quite sacred, actually. The longer that you do this work, the deeper you do it, it becomes sacred to you because you're starting to now, um, as we heal the ancestral lines, we're remembering who we are on a totally different level. And that's actually where I am right now. I'm really landing some integration that I've been doing from my last round of the spiral that I did about 6 months ago. And it feels really, really good, especially as we're in the themes of self-love in level 4 of the spiral. So let me dive in. All right, so level 4 of the spiral, it's all about openness, okay? It's also about structure too. The statement for this level is I love myself. The emotions are reason, acceptance, and love. And the themes are love, relationships, compassion, gratitude, organization, and systems. The body parts are the heart, the chest, the breast, the hands, and the circulatory system. So that in a nutshell kind of explains like the themes and the organs and the different emotions and everything that we're working with in level 4. So it is profound work because it's in level 4 that we actually begin to reintroduce ourselves into the world. After level 1, 2, and 3, that is where we actually release the conditioning around self-worth and value. We get really clear on our boundaries, um, our desires, all of that. We release the conditioning around it and then get really clear on that. And so now in level 4, we're here with the heart and we're here with this openness, yes, this strong spine and this open heart that we reintroduce ourselves to the world. It's like this bridge in the spiral. So the spiral has 7 levels. So level 4 is like the middle, right? It's the middle where we're now bridging that gap of being very individualized, really setting the foundation of who we are and reconnecting with that. And now we're here in level 4, we're bridging the gap. It's that bridge as we reintroduce ourselves to the world. So when we talk about openness, we're talking about the strong spine. Okay, so we have the strong spine after 1, 2, and 3. 3 is all about power. In fact, let me get the statement for the power. I deserve to get what I want, but it's really about, it's not like the jerk way of like, I deserve to get what I want. It's not like being a brat or anything like that. It's more of this worthy and deserving um, energy that we feel, and we actually start to notice in level 3, like where are we giving our power away? Where are the energy leaks? Where are we um, showing up in the world that's not in a place of, loving self first, so that we can now show up After we've been able to take care of ourselves, we have the self-care, we've had enough sleep, we're nourishing our bodies, all of that. Now we get to show up in the world a little different. We're not stressed, we're not irritable, we're not frustrated because we've been able to take care of ourselves first. So when we're talking about that power, it's like we're starting to see like where are we giving our power away in our lives. And then we start to close those energy leaks. We really decide or not decide, well, we do decide, but also we get to get real clear on what it is that we need so that we can show up in our best way for others and be of service to the world. And so when that happens, it's like, whoa, holy cow, we get to show up differently. We get to show up in a place that is open-hearted and it's not, there's the resentment and things like that don't actually aren't cultivated here. They aren't the result of that because we've already met our needs first and now we can show up for others in such a better way. So the martyr gets retired in level 3. That's what ends up happening. Okay, so now here we are, level 4. And this is why I feel so juicy in all of it. I feel so good right now because the statement is I love myself. So the openness and the structure of that has been really, really cool to witness as we've been taking Group Spiral, the members of Group Spiral through. And I'll share more about their experience here in a second. So, openness. This is where we're now showing up in the world with that strong spine, that open heart, no longer having to protect it, no longer like we're releasing the conditioning around, our vulnerability and that armor that we may have um, started to create, right? That protective wall, that heart wall that we start to create as we move throughout our lives. So in the spiral, what we do is we don't treat the symptoms of anything. We get directly to the root of the problem. We go straight to the root of the emotional block. We get straight to the root of that limiting belief. And when that limiting belief was actually imprinted within our being, within our system, all of those things. Okay. So it goes pretty deep into all the work here. That what happens whenever we release that conditioning, we're releasing the coping mechanisms, the survival, it's these coping mechanisms that actually um, were put into place so that we could survive. And it's usually at a very young age whenever these original imprints have been created. And so it's very different depending on the intention of the person who's going through the session. Like the session can go so many different ways, and it really just depends on the session. So it's been really fun because the spiral will go as deep as you would like to go. And I know this firsthand because I like to go deep. I like to get just straight to the root of everything. And sometimes whenever we go straight to the root, that can be a little disorienting. It can be a little scary. It can be a little, and when I say scary, meaning like it feels unstable because the illusion that we have created for ourselves, that perspective falls away, and it falls away pretty fast as we now, like we're breaking those neural pathways and now we're creating the new. So here with this openness, all of a sudden we're like, whoa, like I have this strong spine and this open heart. I get to use discernment. I don't have to protect or guard. I can now actually show up in this way, but yet use discernment as to who has access to that and who would I like to share that with. So that's the openness here. Now we have the structure, right? So the structure, this is all about organization, systems, that type of thing. So if you think about the actual heart organ, it has all of these chambers and valves and all this stuff. Each, it's pumping, it's kind of a machine in and of itself. So it's kind of fun to now look at that as the organization and the systems. And so when we truly love ourselves, so getting back to the statement, I love myself, when we get back to that, we have this organization and systems and structures that we start to put into place so that we can now create a life of ease and flow, because isn't that the ultimate love for self, right? Is to put these things in place so that we can truly love ourselves and have a life of ease and flow. So there's this whole thing that goes into that as well. But here I wanted to talk about the themes. Okay. So the themes are like our love and relationships. It's compassion and gratitude. So it's love for self first so that we can then love others. And then our relationships. It's this intimate relationship with self because how could we if we don't have that, how could we possibly be in an intimate relationship with someone else if we don't have this first and then be able to communicate that with someone else? We just show up so much um, more. I want to say more whenever we are in intimate and romantic relationships. Actually, all of our relationships, to be honest, whenever we have this love for self and we're clear on that and what that means to us, then we have this compassion, huge compassion that ends up being cultivated in this level, not only for others, but deeply for self and we've experienced. And as we let go of the protective coping mechanisms that did so great during those times when we needed them, now we get to fall away. We have that compassion for who we were when we actually put those mechanisms in place. But we survived, right? We survived what we experienced that actually created those coping mechanisms. Then we have this gratitude, huge gratitude that we honor. We honor ourselves. We honor the small child that we were. We honor the person, the soul, the beautiful person we were at that time, regardless of what time the imprint was in our lives. I mean, some of the imprints are like super young. Other imprints I've had in this level have been in my early adulthood too, when I've experienced deep trauma. So it's just this huge gratitude for what we have experienced and how we were able to survive and the lessons that we've learned. So now we're allowing the experience to fall away, like the trauma of that, because we're safe now, right? We may not have felt safe in that moment, but we feel safe now. And we honor that. And now we move forward, bringing that wisdom of these experiences now into our lives. So huge gratitude for the person that we are and for the heart that we are, the heart that we have, and what has been cultivated, the person that we have become because of these experiences. Then we move into organization. Okay. So we have this organization that we all of a sudden start to put things in place so that we have that life of flow. Think of the heart and how everything has to be working in a complete flow so that you have that blood flow, so that you have that life force energy moving throughout your body. So now you think about that, like this is the hub of your life. And why wouldn't you want to create a life of ease and flow that has systems? So this is where we start to put in anchored routines. We start to notice where there's resistance, where there might be a bottleneck in our day. And like, if I'll give an example, like for me, it was dinner time, right? Dinner time was always a little stressful. So any of these times, whenever there was, for me, it was dinner time because I didn't have my dinner planned, right? So then it's dinner time. Oh, shoot, what am I going to make for dinner? Oh, something's not thought out, blah, 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 all the things. But now when I put a system in place, so now I've gone grocery shopping. I know the meals that I'm going to make for the week. I go grocery shopping, get those meals. I have all the ingredients, everything that I need, the time to make it, all of that. Now there's like this ease and flow during that time in my day where I actually enjoy it. I actually enjoy cooking. I actually enjoy, like, I love it. I'll end up starting to cook, and then I put on this like awesome music as I'm cooking, and I just, cook with love. And now I'm providing this very nourishing meal for my family that has these high vibration intentions that are actually infused into the food that I'm creating instead of where before it was very stressful and I didn't really know what I was going to make. And oh my goodness, now I'm going through a drive-through. It's just very different because that's not loving myself. Everything about that is not loving myself. Now I've been able to implement these systems, been organized, and now I'm able to nourish my body and I'm able to nourish my soul. And it actually is kind of a meditative thing. And I actually enjoy, like, I look forward to it now, where before I might have been dreading it. So there's an example of what can happen here with systems and organization. So, it's been really, really cool. I wanted to share a couple of experiences that the members have been going through this round. It's always so beautiful. It's always different for every single person. Like I said, it depends on the intention and what they want to release for that level and what they want to experience in that level. And there was one very beautiful experience that was shared, and she was talking about she's like, man, I was trying to do all my integration. I felt like I didn't have time. And then she goes, little did I know, I was integrating the whole time. And I actually didn't know it until a situation had happened. She found herself in a situation. And then she went, oh my gosh, I am no longer reacting. I am now responding. And she responded in such a different place and in a different way because she was she said what she realized is that the structure that she's been creating as she's been journeying with the spiral actually was a structure for her heart to rest in. And so she's like, it was crazy because she's in this situation that would normally be very tense. And normally she'd experience a lot of pain, emotional pain, that type of thing, maybe bitterness and things like that, and even anger. But instead, what she noticed, because now she's responding, is that her heart was okay. It was a situation because here we are in acceptance, right? So the emotions that we work with are reason, acceptance, and love. So she was able to be in that situation from a complete and experience it from a completely different perspective because she's been able to provide this beautiful structure that her heart has now rested into instead of always being on guard, always being protected, not allowing people in. That heart wall then ends up happening. It's exhausting, right? It's exhausting to be active in that way, even on an unconscious level. It's exhausting. And so instead, to be able to provide this structure and create this structure for her heart to rest in, she said, what I realized is I've been creating this life. I've been building a life where I can just be. In fact, let me see. I was going to say, I was actually going to use her exact words, but basically, she was like, I've been building a life that can hold me. And that is huge, 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 huge. Can you imagine going into intense situations that in the past have caused extreme pain and now being able to go into these situations from a place of compassion, a place of gratitude, and a place of love, and being able to show up in these relationships that you either have or had, like in this situation, had, and being able to show up from a state of openness. There's, it's huge. And until you experience it, you can never fully grasp what this work does, because what would have happened in the past is it would have taken up space. It would have taken up space in her head, in her body, and she would have felt tense, possibly gone into a panic attack, maybe even leave the situation. But now she was able to show up. She was sovereign. She was grounded in who she was. She showed up in a way that was her. She showed up in a way that was her, pure love, gratitude, compassion, not having to get caught up in the drama, not having to get caught up in the pain of the past, but now being able to move forward in a different way that is that strong spine, that open heart, and allowing her energy to speak for her instead of her having to actually voice it, which that is beautiful. This is the work of the spiral. You begin to become very grounded in who you are. You remember who you are as you connect here with your authentic heart, and you begin to meet these parts of you that you may never have met before, depending on the imprint. Some of these imprints, some of them happen in the womb. And so think about that for a moment. If you are releasing conditioning that has happened, that was created prior to you even taking your first breath, you are now creating a new reference point for love. You're creating a new reference point for reason, acceptance, and love. And this unconditional love that's right here within. It's never external, it's always internal. And until you actually experience this work, it's very, I don't want to say it's hard to put into words. It's just different. It's just different. It's transformational in every way. You begin to operate and move through your life and create a life consciously from a way that you've never experienced before. So when we talk about the statement in this level is I love myself, when we are able to fully anchor that in, when we are able to fully feel that and embody that statement, I love myself, unapologetically, we show up completely different and we create a completely different life. So I invite you all to ask all the questions because I have a lot of different um, social workers and people who are in the behavioral health field who are always asking me all the questions because this is so new to them. They've never really learned about this before. And so I have a lot of people that say, I want to know more. How are we redefining that? How is Red Lotus Life redefining that? And how are we doing this as spiral practitioners? And so I love to answer all the questions. Please drop your comments here. But the best part about all of this is if you actually come in and experience it yourself. So here is an invitation. You can come and experience with Lunar Journeys if you are into the cosmos and working with the moon. And yes, we heal in Red Lotus Life. We heal with working through the moon, working with the gene keys, and then we do emotional clearing there. So if you're someone who's into that, we totally invite you. It's a community class that we do. It's very affordable. So we do that every 2 weeks, just so you know. So invitation for that, or even if you're not into that, say yes to soul. Just come and be part of us for 1 month, even just 1 month. There's no, like, you get to just come and go as you please, but we invite you to come into that space and learn and experience all of this for yourself because that's the only way that is the only way that you're going to be able to experience it and have your own expression of what you've experienced because everything is always so unique and so individual depending on you. So, invitation to come and join us at Say Yes to Soul. You can use code Say Yes for a special offer so that you can do that. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. I just feel good today. I feel really, really good today. And it was really special to be able to hear everyone's experiences as they've moved through level 4. And I just wanted to come in and share a couple of those. So let us know if you have any questions. And until next time, we'll see you then. Okay, bye.
And live your life today.